component. You have disruption here, it can affect here. So it's really important to understand that. And food sensitivities, of course, can cause inflammation. We talked about what inflammation is. Do you remember, Maureen? What's it called? What's another word for inflammation? Great job, swelling. She totally remembered. So, you know, that's really important to understand. Swelling. So let's see. We talked about chronic congestion, dark circles under the eyes, food cravings. I love this one. So if you crave wheat, you should probably get tested to see if you have a food sensitivity. No, it's really something, especially with kids. Kids are really intuitive, and they usually know what they shouldn't have, but they crave it anyways. So, and that's often, well, we won't get into sugar, but that's definitely another area. So food sensitivities can definitely fall into that. Just want to grab my notes real quick, make sure I'm not skipping around too much. So, any questions? Matthew, you have a question for me? No? You're good? Catherine, any questions? No? Sorry, I won't do that again. Okay, so everyone's good. So how can food sensitivities cause major stress on the body? Once again, I mentioned to you, if it's just one, maybe it could just be a chronic low grade and it may not cause that much irritation, but if you have multiple food stressors or food sensitivities, then it can create a cumulative threat to the body. And it creates an inflammation and swelling, and it can also affect the good flora that's in the gut. That's about 90% of that good bacteria that we need in there to keep things moving and to protect our bodies from any invaders. So that's really key, as well as it can also affect us. Let's see here. It's a direct relationship with symptoms sometimes. Sometimes somebody can go off a week and they can say, wow, my headaches went away. That's incredible. Other times might be not a direct relationship, but wow, I'm starting to feel more energetic just by stopping the foods that I discovered were a sensitivity to me. Let's see here. So compromises the flora inside the gut, and then it can also permeate the membrane. When you have foods that the body just doesn't like, it starts poking at the gut lining, and then you have potentially leaky gut. And I shared with you last week what leaky gut can do. It leaks toxins into the body and through the bloodstream, and it can travel everywhere. So you can definitely have a whole host of issues that can create past problems as a result of that. 3 different ways of identifying food sensitivities. Any questions? You can stop me at any time. 3 different ways of identifying food sensitivities. One of them is through blood tests. Discuss the IgG antibodies. So testing those, because those are, once again, are antibodies that are located in all fluids throughout the entire body. So they're testing for that reaction. Is the body reacting to that? I have had a question come to me, well, isn't this all, if it shows positive, doesn't that mean that it's the food I just ate? And no, it doesn't. And I'm a perfect example of that, because I haven't eaten chicken in 16 years. And I had an IgG test, and it showed me off the chart sensitive to chicken. So, and yes, it could have been in the broth or something like that I've eaten over time, but it's not something that I conscientiously put into my foods. So, that's just a perfect example. And I've seen dozens of IgG tests now, and I can share with you that they're very individualized. I see some people with multiple food sensitivities, which usually alert me to the fact that on the integrity of the gut. If there's multiple food sensitivities, if there's just a few food sensitivities, it may be something that it could be temporary. We don't know until we start to try to give the body the tools it needs and see how it responds. So blood work is the first one. Is it 100% reliable? I don't know how many tests are really 100% reliable, but I think it's a great marker. It's a good guide to say, okay, this is something to abide by. And yes, I'd say remove those foods for anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 months. I'm a firm believer of 3 months, because I say let's go for it. If you really want to resolve the body, let's get rid of the foods that are bothering you. Let's get rid of every other thing that could possibly be irritating the body. Let's give the body all the tools it needs. Let's go big, because I want you to have the most results in the most limited amount of time. Some people like to pace it out and just take short changes, and that's fine. But I love the wow reaction. I love how good I'm feeling or something like that. So I'll typically go with that approach. There's 2 other ways you can test for food sensitivity. suggest that you do this in addition to a blood test. I think one guideline is good to go. But the first particular one is an elimination diet. And come on over if you like. An elimination diet, everybody might be somewhat familiar with it. There's a few ways of doing this. The most foolproof way is to stop eating everything but lamb and rice for about a week, and then slowly introducing one food at a time. That's more of a foolproof way. Now I will tell you, I'm your unusual circumstance where my food sensitivity test, I was really highly sensitive to rice. So that system may not work out so well for me, but typically rice is not a highly sensitive food. There are some cross-reactive properties between that and meat, just to share with you, but that's another topic. We can get on that if you like. But getting back to the elimination diet, there's another way to do it as well. And you can focus on 5 foods, and if you need me to repeat these, that's fine. It's corn, soy, eggs, wheat, and dairy.
Yeah.
Yes, I know, which makes you feel like that's everything that I eat, and that could be. But I also like to add 2 more in there, all foods with preservatives and sugar. And remove those for 2 to 3 weeks. Then slowly introduce one item at a time. And when you introduce each item at a time, I want you to really eat that item. Like, if it's eggs, I want you to eat eggs twice, maybe even 3 times that day, and the next day as well. And then I want you to wait up to 3 days to see how you feel. And once again, it may not cause a headache, may not cause like stomach cramping or anything, but you may feel this feeling of tire and exhaustion. That's often what I get reported from a couple of my clients who have chosen to do the elimination diet. So that's the elimination diet. Any questions?
Corn, wheat, eggs, dairy,
Soy.
and all sugar.
And you know, there are some, it's subjective. I've also heard peanuts. You know, it's just a highly sensitive food, and it can even be highly allergenic as well. Peanuts are. And I have one more, which I love throwing into the mix because it's one I hadn't heard of before, and I think it's just fun to add one more free option for you to do. And this is called the pulse test. So, and this would be really fun to partner up with someone. And you sit, and I have a couple of sheets here that I can just pass out. Here we go. So you can kind of share and just look. This is the pulse test for food allergies. If you'd like to just spread this around, that'd be great. And what you do there is you take the pulse. This is while you're sitting. And then you introduce one food on the tongue, and you hold it in your tongue for 1 minute. And then you take the pulse for 1 minute, and you document it. There's actually a record on the bottom of the sheet. And then you rinse your mouth, and you go on to the next food, and you see how your body responds. And I think it's a great guideline, once again, you know, just to identify anything that could be potentially irritating the body or irritating the gut. So, also, I did put that on my website under tools. So if you're interested, that is featured now under tools on the website. Too, to rotate your foods. Whether you have sensitivities or you don't have sensitivities, rotate your foods. And that's really hard. I cook the same 7 to 10 meals, I feel like, every week, 2 weeks. So it's really